U.S. President Donald Trump stated that he had ordered the deployment of 2 American nuclear submarines in response to specific statements coming from Russia. Trump wrote in a post on Truth Social, based on the highly provocative statements of the former president of Russia, Dmitry Medvedev, who is now the deputy chairman of the Security Council of the Russian Federation, I have ordered 2 nuclear submarines to be positioned in the appropriate regions, just in case these foolish and inflammatory statements are more than just that. Trump added, "Words are very important and can often lead to unintended consequences. I hope this will not be one of those instances. Thank you for your attention to this matter." The president's sharp remark toward Medvedev seemed to be a direct response to the Russian official's Telegram post on Thursday, where Medvedev suggested Trump should revisit his favorite movies about the living dead and recall just how dangerous the mythical Dead Hand can be. In this video, Defense Updates analyzes why Russia is invoking Cold War-era Dead Hand system in a renewed warning to U.S. Before we proceed, a word on NordVPN, which is one of the most trusted and fastest VPN brand that has a no-log policy validated by Deloitte. NordVPN provides a 256-bit encrypted tunnel that protects your privacy and also enables you to access contents that are blocked based on geolocation. Its threat protection system helps you avoid phishing, scams, and malware. NordVPN application is available for all the major platforms as well as browsers. Get an exclusive NordVPN deal with massive saving by going to nordvpn.com/defense or clicking the link in the description. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Since the February 2022 invasion of Ukraine, President Vladimir Putin and Dmitry Medvedev have used the nuclear card time and again. On February 24, 2022, Putin stated that Russia is one of the most powerful nuclear powers and warned that any direct attack would meet consequences you have never experienced in your history. In May 2023, Medvedev warned that NATO assistance to Ukraine could escalate into a full nuclear war. On September 25, 2024, in a revised nuclear doctrine, Putin lowered the threshold for nuclear use, indicating Russia could resort to nuclear retaliation if its sovereignty were threatened, even by conventional attack. On May 6, 2024, Medvedev suggested nuclear strikes could be used on European capitals such as London, Paris, and Washington if Western military involvement escalated. Medvedev's latest remark can be seen in this context but is far more sinister as Dead Hand system has been mentioned. Designed at the height of Cold War tensions, it's a system built for the unthinkable, to guarantee retaliation even if the Russian command structure is wiped out in a nuclear first strike. More than a weapon, Dead Hand is a grim embodiment of the logic of mutual assured destruction. MAD. Decades after its development, it remains a central, though shadowy pillar of Russian strategic doctrine. In general, a nuclear missile launch is a multi-step process with several levels of authorization. First, the higher authorities need to provide permission, which after going down the chain of command reaches the missile operator. For this, a secret code is transmitted to them. The missile operators on receiving the codes initiate the launch sequence. But this can be tricky as it could take time and also not work if a preemptive strike disables the communication systems. The Soviet Union began developing the Dead Hand system in the early 1980s. The catalyst was the growing fear that the U.S. might conduct a decapitating first strike, one that would destroy Soviet leadership and prevent retaliation. These concerns were heightened by U.S. advances in precision-guided munitions, submarine-launched ballistic missiles, SLBMs, and stealth technology, as well as NATO exercises like Able Archer 83, which Moscow mistakenly interpreted as a potential prelude to nuclear war. This is where Dead Hand, also referred to as perimeter, comes in. The system is designed to automatically launch missiles during a nuclear attack on Russia without needing elaborate manual human intervention. So, it will work even if the Russian command chain or communication systems are taken out by a preemptive nuclear strike. Dead Hand is one of the most complex systems deployed during the Cold War era. It monitors a network of sensors spread across Russia, seismic sensors, infrared detectors, radioactivity monitors, and early warning radar. If these sensors detect a nuclear explosion or multiple launches aimed at Russian territory, It triggers the next phase. The system then checks for communication with the Russian general staff and command leadership. If no response is received, i.e., the Kremlin has been destroyed or communication is severed, it assumes a decapitation strike has occurred. Dead Hand now launches a specially designed SS-17 ICBMs. These missiles don't carry warheads but have a special module. This module transmits a launch signal to nuclear-tipped ICBMs, which are housed in their silos in different parts of Russia, as well as to nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarines. Once this signal is received by the nuclear missiles, they automatically get launched and start their flight towards the predefined targets. This technically means that there is no going back once Dead Hand takes over. Most experts believe that the system is much more advanced compared to its initial days, as several components like seismic sensors have been upgraded. Although the Cold War ended more than 3 decades ago, the logic that led to Dead Hand's creation remains disturbingly relevant. The United States and Russia still possess over 90% of the world's nuclear weapons. Russia has several ICBMs for nuke delivery like RS-24 Yars, Topol, Topol-M, RS-28 Sarmat. When it comes to undersea leg, Russia has Bory-class submarines armed with RSM-56 Bulava SLBM and Delta-IV class subs with R-29R, MU Sinova, or R-29R MU two-laner missiles. Modern-day tensions, ranging from NATO expansion to the war in Ukraine, have revived the specter of great power confrontation. Russia has explicitly stated that it reserves the right to use nuclear weapons in the event of an existential threat to the state. In this context, Dead Hand serves both as a deterrent and a reminder. A first strike on Russia will not go unanswered, even if there's no one left to give the order. While U.S. homeland is protected by several systems like ground-based mid-course defense, GMD, it is unlikely that a full-fledged Russian nuclear onslaught can be thwarted. The Dead Hand system stands as one of the most chilling examples of Cold War engineering, a system built to practically end civilization if certain conditions are met. Whether it is actively deployed or simply maintained as a last resort contingency, its existence highlights Russian mindset. If we go down, we will take down everyone with us. By invoking the Dead Hand, Russia has sent a warning like no other.